Good morning to you and welcome to Dominion Television, your channel of choice, where we give you everything sports live here on the studio, and we're going to give you back-to-back action from the local stories to the world of transfer, from the world of basketball, also straight down to every tidbit that you need to understand about the world sport this wonderful morning. I am Abe Paul Toluwanimi, and I have with me Samson Balogun, official captain, here with me to also discuss our sporting activities this morning. Like I said, we're looking at the local stories this morning. Also, we're looking at the major stories surrounding the world of transfer, also the world of basketball, and also the ITTF athletes ongoing also. And also we have the world of Chan. Chan also are very much ongoing. We have stories covering that side also. We'll be giving you that on the show today. Samson, good morning to you.
Well, perhaps good to have you. Good to be here with you to talk sports. Of course, this is where we bring you unbiased analysis and undiluted reportage. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. There's a lot to talk about in the world of sports.
All right, yes, sir. Let's get straight into action as we look forward into the stories making the round this morning in the world of the local news, where we have the Nasarawa United technical advisor Mabos Mangot has been unveiled as at yesterday. The 47-year-old replaced Salisu Yusuf, who left the role at the end of the season. A former Eagles assistant coach has joined Benios club Akaton FC. Mangot brings a wealth of experience and a proven track record in football management, and also Mangot expressed delight after penning his contract with the Solid Miners. And he said, and I quote, "I am very aware that a lot of other coaches applied for this job, but I feel good for the opportunity given to me to do what I know how to do best." Mangot told the club media. Let's start from there. We have been seeing new changes, before the season. Technical, advisors, sporting directors, new coaches. I think major clubs are making changes, new structures for the coming season. Now we have Nasarawa United having to unveil a new technical advisor. What do you think about this move?
I think one of the things we are looking at in the world of football, especially at the local scene, the Nigerian Professional Football League, the NNL, NLO, we have seen a shift when it comes to the norms we used to have. There's a new norm. Changes are being made, especially in the area of who takes what at when. And of course, when you look at the situation of new technical advisor coming on board, sometimes new coaches, it's a total shift from what we used to have. It's something different to what used to happen. And I think right about now, some teams, they are actually the driving force. They have allowed other teams to emulate them to make some necessary changes. Do not forget that lately the Shooting Star Sports Club of Ibadan, some things that really had not happened in a long time, or probably some of them had not happened before in history, they are beginning to show face. Now we have a sporting director. A sporting director. That's something you have never seen when it comes to the history of Shooting Star Sports Club of Ibadan. But now things are taking shape, and that for me, that's a paradigm shift. Things are beginning to happen, something different to what we used to see. And for Nasarawa United, bringing Mangot on board, I think that's a bold decision. And of course, he cannot take it away. For Salisu Yusuf, give him his flowers. He has paid his dues. He's experienced. He's technically sound. Regardless of if some of his decisions might not go down well with sports lovers or football lovers, but then the fact that he has been around for a long time, he knows exactly what he wants. He knows how to do things. And for me, I think that's a great move for him too. Something totally different to what he has experienced in the local league. And for Mangot coming on board, I think he has a statement to make. He has something to prove. His experience has to count. So coming on board, they have to feel his presence. And I think that's exactly why he's excited and elated to be a part of Nasarawa United.
All right. Yes, that's the update coming through from the camp of Nasarawa United, having to unveil a new technical director, Mangot, on the scene, and having to see how far it can go for them next season. I don't know if we have Toby, joining us. I don't know if Toby's live with us this morning. Also, we were giving us his wealth of experience and also, top-notch analysis as we are keep going on the show. Moving away from that, also, let me inform you that we're still in the local stories, and this is coming through from Kwara United, and they have announced a one-year sponsorship deal worth 53 million with BC.game. Yes, the cryptocurrency exchange will feature prominently on Kwara United jersey during the 2025-2026 season. Samson Balogun, another change again. I don't know why this season looks different, and me honestly, I can't wait to see how far the MPFL season can start. I just want to see this change. I want to see it. There's a word I want to use right now. The feeling, because right now we are seeing new coaches, new technical advisor, new structure coming in. Now this is Kwara United. They have announced one-year sponsorship deal worth 53 million. And look at the beautiful jersey right there.
I think this is the right time to be, a follower of the MPFL, because as I said earlier, some of the changes we are saying now, there are things we hadn't seen before, and that's because some people who are more innovative, they are tech savvy, they understand the game, they are youthful, they understand exactly what it means to do the business part of the game. It's not just about playing football, running around, 11 men running after just one ball. It's about, aside from the entertainment, what exactly can we achieve? And I've always said this, that one of the major undoings of the NPFL is the fact that state government has refused state governments have refused to hands off. They want to be in charge. Oh, our state must have a football team. Look, football has gone beyond that. And if at all state government wants to have a team, if you cannot play the game the way it should be played, I think it's high time you just left this thing for people who will do it the right way. And some of the things I see now, since some people who actually have experienced, what it means to play at the highest level are coming on board to say, look, this is what we want to do. Or some who understand the business angle of the game, since they are coming on board to say, look, let's reshape and rebrand this league. I think we have seen some difference. This is not the first sponsorship for the season. I think Kano Pillars with Ahmed Musa, they unveiled RFI as their sponsor. Also, and, also Kwara United coming on board. I mean, these are teams that they have decided to restructure, re-strategize. Though Kwara United might not have done too much when it comes to changing the face of the game in Ilorin, Kwara State. But what they are doing now is, at least in the little way, I think they are taking it a step at a time. It's a process. It's a process, actually. And one thing they have done so far, which I know, is that they have realized the fact that, no, ticket fee is not enough to run a football club. And we cannot bank on the government, state government, to always bankroll the team. So what are the things we can do to make sure that these things are also sorted by ourselves? True. And getting a shared sponsor. I mean, it saddens me that many times I watch, the MPFL, and most of the teams, their jerseys are just blank, and they are running around. I'm like, so there's no company in that state. That can do 20, 30 million naira, even if that's all that can sort is the jerseys for the season. You will be happy. There's a shared sponsor, and by the next season,
and that has taken away a little burden
of the team. And that's for me, will give the room for a bigger sponsor to say, look, if so brand can actually do this, then we can always do this. I mean, look at what happened with the MPFL per se. That we used to have, sponsors. Telecommunication companies will say, oh, so company, NPFL. And it was amazing that there's a sponsor for the league, not just for the teams, for the league. But what happened? And that is my fear for the current changes we are having. Are we going to take 10 steps forward and then take maybe another 100 backwards? Because it's one thing to be consistent with the changes you are saying, positive ones. It's another thing to just, innovate and then sit back and say, oh, it will come. See, sponsors will not come to you as a team. So when you don't have a team of people with the technical know-how to generate income for your team, there will be challenges. Now, what we are seeing now is that some teams, and the amazing thing about this is, we are now seeing state-owned teams fighting to have sponsors. Yes. What will now happen to teams that are owned by private individuals? So it means that the clock is ticking. Things are happening. Changes are being made by football teams. And I'm not sorry to say this. This thing is happening to teams that so many people think they are probably not too serious about it. If Shooting Stars can be making the drastic changes we are saying, if Kano Pillars that is well funded by the Kano State government is taking this kind of step, if Kwara United is taking this kind of step, so what happened to a team like Sporting Lagos, a team like Remo Stars that has an in-house sponsor already? So it means that aside from the owner of Remo Stars that currently sponsors with his, fleet of companies, that other sponsors are also welcome.
Okay.
So these are things we want to see.
Okay.
And if Kwara United, I'm not sorry to say, of all the teams in the MPFL, is doing this. I think so many other teams, they have a lot to do. And we have a long way to go. But I am happy this is happening, and I do hope that they are encouraged to continue. Now, the allegation of fraud will come. Oh, how much did you take from this sponsor? Then how much did you remit? People will say that. But then don't be discouraged or deterred by what people are saying. I mean, these are challenges that, as long as you know that you are currently doing the right thing, and there's accountability.
And it's bringing success to
the team.
And
it's bringing success to the team. I mean, the success is much more important than what people will say. And people like us will always come back to, criticize and say, oh, what happened to the sponsorship you had last season? What happened to what you did so time? That's our job. And aside from pressmen who will say that, there are other people out there who also criticize these steps. But this is a bold move by Kwara United. And I feel like every other team, including our own Shooting Star Sports Club in Ibadan, should emulate and try to do something. Look into the angle of generating income for your football club. And once you do that, I think we will begin to win these football clubs off the feeding bottle of the state government. And if that happens, I think we have a more structured NPFL.
Amazing. All right, like I said, Samson Balogun, the El Capitano, official captain, he has so much to give out when it comes to top-notch analysis, and we have so much also to unravel right here on the show. Now, talking transfer in the local league, it has been a back and forth, a lot of saga, 25 players out of the team, 16 players back in the team. But right now we're talking transfer, from the local scene. But before that, I have Toby joining us this morning. Toby, good morning to you.
Yes, good morning to you. It's good to join you once again.
Yes, good morning to you. I have Samson Balogun in the studio also with me.
Toby, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Captain. We call him Captain. We've had captains together on the football.
Good to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Toby, we're discussing about the new, sponsors for Kwara United. They announced a one-year sponsorship deal worth 53 million with BC.game. We haven't seen these changes, in the LPFL. What do you think about this one for Kwara United going into the next season?
We've spoken about making the Nigeria Premier Football League a fertile ground, making the league profitable, and even allowing sponsors, brands, more or less key in, because it's a pot of gold that is waiting to be tapped. And these are low-hanging fruits that you would have expected clubs, administrators to have more or less done a whole lot. That's why I called it low-hanging fruit. You don't even need to even stress yourself, because just as Samson said, you see some clubs, their shirts will just be blank. Even those that are not blank, guess what will be written there? Just the name of the club written there, and something FC and all. And we even see that most in the Nigeria Women's Football League, the NWFL, the NWPL, and all that. But it's good that we are now seeing clubs. And for Kwara, you remember they will be playing on the continent, albeit starting from the preliminary stages of the CAF Confederations Cup. So it will be it's a win-win for them. Win-win in the sense that this brand would have publicity when they are playing on the continent of Africa. Kwara United raking money, and potentially even potential sponsors could even key into it. We would say, yes, it looks big in terms of the Naira value, but if you look at what it will be coming in, I think in maybe pounds or dollars, it might look more, but at least it's a good starting point. And imagine that happening, that money will reside in the economy of Kwara State, that money, and it will definitely cover a whole lot from logistics. Of course, the largest would also flow to the players, maybe talking about incentives from match bonuses, goals scored, and all that. So it's very good that Kwara State government, through Kwara United, the Harmony Boys, they have been able to do this. I'm sure it shouldn't just stop there. A whole lot still needs to happen within the Kwara State Township Stadium, also known as the Yekini Stadium, right there in Ilorin, right there. So we can only hope, we can only think about what can happen if this is replicated across the remainder of our clubs in the Nigeria Premier Football League, since we are talking about the NPFL. But I think it's the right step in the right direction, and it shouldn't just stop there.
All right, yes, that should not just stop there. We want it, to go around, and I think it's just the right step in the right direction, like Toby said, and we want more to happen, for other clubs going forward. Moving away from that, like I said, we're talking transfer in the local league. Right now, El Kanemi Warriors have announced the signing of 16 additional players, bringing the total signings this window to 21. I'm sure, the captain is wondering, 16 additional to 21, and they still have more to sign. And I know you have so much to discuss about, issues like this, in the local league when it comes to transfer window. And there was I think just last week or this week, we had 25 players shipped out of a club. That's to show you that most of these players don't even have a contract in the club right there. But right now, let me just give you, this follows their early announcement of 5 new additions. The latest signing include Abila David from Opel Ramat in Israel, Idrisu Ibrahim, goalkeeper from Kano Pillars, Olawale Tosin from Shooting Stars FC, also Abbas Yakubu from ABS Ilorin, David Idayi from Barua FC. We have Akiyemi Oyedele from Legacy FC, Sule Kabiru John from Tobo Touch FC, Mutala Dagbo from from Osvo, actually. Otuyuga Akim, a goalkeeper from Aqua United. We have God's Power from Inter Lagos. We have Salisu Ibrahim from FC Samogan. Also, we have Suleiman Baduru from Gilsh Wells. Also, we have Zaka John from Doma United. We have Danjuma from Remo Stars. We have Silo Bonu from Strasco FC. And also Jonas Emmanuel from Niger Tornadoes Amina. The club also stated that more players are expected to join before the close of the transfer window. Before I come to official captain, Toby, this is the addition for El Kanemi Warriors, 16 additional players. What do you think about this? I know that the transfer, but I know you have your own take about, situations like this. What do you think about this addition for El Kanemi Warriors going into the next season? I don't know if Toby is there, but okay, if you can get Toby, let me have our official captain, take that analysis for us. El Kanemi Warriors, 16 players and more to go. Right now, they have 21 new players in the squad, and they still want more.
The rule says you can sign, you can register, I think, 35 players, meaning that the team can actually sign as much as 35 players, so, which is allowed.
Okay, but are they saying that they don't have players in the squad?
One thing that saddens me is the fact that the NPFL, we often make a joke out of the NPFL. We ridicule the league so much, we ridicule the players so much that, you begin to wonder, do we even still have quality players in the NPFL? And the challenge is not far-fetched. Most of these players are not well represented. Some of them, they are just tools in the hands of coaches. You will see coaches who have players and then say, oh, you are playing for me, but also amount of money goes to you, some comes to me. And once that kind of player is no longer, on the same page with the said coach or the manager that brought him to the team, then he or she is farmed out of the team. But then, how do you sack 20+ players from a team that just finished the league? Does that mean they do not have contracts?
Yeah.
And if they do have contracts, is this how we will continue? And the challenge is not what just started today. The problem is majority of the quality players we should have in the NPFL, they have been farmed out to other leagues, to other lowly leagues.
Low leagues, actually.
In Africa.
In Africa.
Nigerian players now travel to Tanzania. They go to Sudan. They go to Lesotho to play. And these are countries that, if you even compare Naira to their currency, you will begin to wonder what exactly is the problem. But guess what? They are being paid in dollars there. And once they hear, oh, you get $3,000 every month, you get $5,000 every month, they are eager to travel out of the country and go. Take, for example, Ojo Olorunleke left Eyimba Football Club, traveled to an African country, don't want to get into details. He is back in the country now, looking for a team. And most likely will end up with the Shooting Star Sport Club of Ibadan. I don't want to be too sure that he's going to get the deal, but Toby here knows exactly what I'm talking about. But the truth of the matter is, why did we make the league so unfavorable to African players, to Nigerian players? Why did we make it so unattractive to Nigerian players that at the sound of just a few dollars, they are out of the country. They are ready to go. Nigerian players, Shooting Star players, 2 of them traveled to Iraq. I think Iraq or Iran last season. This is it is saddening to see. But then, how do we get to what is the modus operandi of players' registration? What exactly is the problem? If it's a constitutional problem, if it has to do with the rules, then it should be tightened and teams should be held accountable for what they do. Why would you sack 21 players, 20 players, sometimes 16? And you begin to wonder, how many players do you have left in this team? If all these players are leaving, does that mean that all of them, their contracts have expired? And then the idea of, players coming in and just sign a year contract. That is disgusting.
If the season is over, we're done with you, you're bringing a new...
There is one thing I have learned with that is that there's no security to the player's job. Meaning that after that 1 year contract, he might not even get a team anymore. And that will be the end. So if teams are told, players should also have the right to say, look, if you are not giving me 2 years contract, if you are not giving me 4 years contract, I mean, Nigerian league should be made like other leagues. You are going to Lesotho, for example, they are giving you 3 years contract. It means that you know that for the next 3 years, your job is guaranteed. Even if you want to leave that team, you still have ample time to think of where next to go. But the player is saddled with the responsibility of thinking of how to play and succeed with the team, and also how to get a new team or probably a new deal just within 1 year. So for me, I think that is too much burden on the player, too much burden on the management, and of course, this bureaucracy surrounding contracts of players should be eased somehow.
All right.
And make sure, why would you sack 21 players for crying out loud?
Yes, Toby. I don't know if you're here, Toby. We're looking at the situation with El Kanami Warriors. Just unveiled 16 players, and total signing is 21, and they still want to add more, to the team for next season.
Nottingham Forest.
Come on, man. Talk to me.
Well,
Talk to me.
Well, the truth about that is that this is the misnomer that has more or less plagued football for quite some time right now, whereby you ship out players, shipping, they're really using that word, shipping players, because it's not just 1 or 2, you are shipping, it's more shipping out a whole team and shipping in a new team a commencement of the season. But I think maybe one of those things the board of the NPFL would have to fix. There was long ago, there was a time whereby players would be getting 70,000 naira, 80,000 naira before we had a wage cap. That, this would be the least paid Nigeria Premier Football League player on the days of the Nigerian Premier League, or when it was known as the Nigeria Professional Football League, whereby we had the then LMC had to more or less implement a wage cap to the league right there. But right now, I think it is a step-by-step approach. Maybe moving on, they can also implement these are the amount of players that you can more or less take out. This is the minimum amount of contracts, talking about the duration, maybe months, that you can have a player sign, so that there will be this player or job security for the players, using the words of I think it is good that we can have all of this, so that we can have a truly professional football league, because over time we saw that having a professional league, and when you look at what happens in the theater, if you don't have a professional football league in the rest of the bit, but I think we'll get there at some point.
All right. Yes, so we're hoping we get there at some point, and we hope that the structures are being put in place going forward, to have a very good league, in the future to come. Moving away from that, we're still talking transfer, and this is, this is fantastic. Sporting Lagos to Inter Lagos now Plateau United. Balao favor Dankbota, the 19-year-old goalkeeper, who is calm, present, sharp reflexes, and big game nerve, and hand him a plundered across the NNL. Right now is a Plateau-born player. Just signed a new deal right there. We're going to watch this video. When we are back, we're going to discuss about, this new signing right here for Plateau United. All right, there you have it. The new signing for Plateau United, official captain. I can understand that the media team right now are new structures, trying to just give us that feel of European style. But what do you think this man can bring into the camp of Plateau United within a few seconds?
It's interesting to see young players, getting the attention they deserve.
It's just 19.
There used to be a time where the people think, it's a mindset actually, that if you are not 25, 30, you are not strong enough to play in the NPFL. But the tides, in the last few years, the tide has changed, and people are seeing the NPFL in a different light. Now it's obvious that if you have the skill, the technical know-how, and you have the strength, you can always play anytime, regardless of your age. And at 19, this is a good one for Plateau United. I mean, that gives them, this is a valid contract being signed, and probably there's job security, maybe a 4 years contract. Within that period, such player can play, with mind at ease, and can also be sold at a huge profit. So it tells you that, as we said earlier, we are seeing the changes we want to see. And when it comes to branding, I think Nigerian clubs are being challenged by some teams. I said this thing, I think about 2 or 3 years ago, that teams like Remo Stars, Sporting Lagos, Beyond Limit, Inter Lagos, these are teams that they came on board, and maybe it's a Lagos thing, they changed the narrative somehow. And other teams were like, oh, so if these ones can do it, we don't want to be left behind. And I think that is one of the things we should be saying, and it's a good thing that we are beginning to emulate other teams that are doing great things. And then do not emulate those teams that are not doing too well at us. And of course, do not benchmark yourself. What Plateau United just did does not mean that's the best. But you can also do better. That is why you have to bring people who are creative, they think ahead, they understand the game, they understand what it means to actually, put your team right there. One of the things that will sell your football club is your branding.
Actually, if you're talking sponsorship right now, you need branding. You need value.
Because nobody is coming to give you money when you cannot give yourself money.
True.
So
I agree with that.
Just sit down, check yourself. If I am someone else out there, and this is a football club, will I invest my money in this team? Am I bringing my money here? So, and one of the things that I've seen that is about to change is the fact that every match day, you see a whole lot of things happening in the stands. And I see teams already controlling that. Started with Remo Stars, Sporting Lagos, Inter Lagos. You don't just come to match venues and start constituting nuisance. Probably you bought your ticket even before you left home. And then once you get there, you just scan and then get into the stadium. Meaning that you have no business with anybody selling tickets. In fact, at the gate, nobody is giving you a manual ticket. You are buying the ticket and then getting into the stadium. And of course, the press stand is being separated from the stand that belongs to everyone. So at places, at match venues before now, especially places like the North, there isn't really a special place for the press. The moment you enter, you realize the fact that where you are meant to sit, someone else is sitting there, and that person is not even a pressman. So how do you cover a game successfully when you don't even have the right view of the game? But then these things are changing. These are narratives that are being pushed, and I feel like in the next 2-3 years, if this, these current changes we are seeing continues with this pace, or maybe a better pace, Nigerian, the MPFL will compete favorably, not just in Africa, but in the world.
All right, yes, sir. That's what we're expecting, that we compete, not just in Africa, especially in the world. I can remember, Honorable Kule Shoname also speaking about, how far, can we go in continental football right there. So we're expecting so much to happen this season and beyond. Now, speaking to us, give us an update this morning also is coming from Eyimba. Is Toby will still with us? Eyimba head coach Stanley Guma has made a bold call by stating that his target for 2025 Nigerian Premier League football is to lead the club to win the title or pick up a continental ticket. The man spoke to the club official website saying that this is the focus for us come next season. Toby, what do you think about this bold statement coming through from the coach of Eyimba?
Yes, Stanley Guma, I think should be the longest serving MPFL manager right now, talking about his longevity. And
his experience.
Of course, as a manager, he has to talk tough with a club with the stature of Eyimba Football Club. But for Eyimba Football Club too, I think they will also have a whole lot of issues going into this new season, because you would say Brown Ideye opened a can of worms. And till now, it has been, it's going to be a huge PR effort to clean a whole lot of issues that has been opened up by Brown Ideye. Even still alleging that the club still owes him and some players, even from the concluded MPFL season, and you are just some weeks into the new MPFL season, and it is a happy player, just as any workplace, it's a happy staff that would have that workplace develop and even grow. And if the players in Eyimba Football Club are not treated well, I do not know how far or how true these targets will come into fruition. But anything can happen in the game of football. If the players are well sorted, they have Nwankwo Kanu as the club's chairman, and you would have expected that a whole lot would have changed. But apparently, it has been underwhelming so far, from the back room, from the management level, even the result on the field of play. When Yemi Olarewaju was excused from coaching duties and Stanley Guma was brought last season, we thought, okay, that would be the dawn of a new era. We saw a flash in the pan, but it was not sustained, and we saw Eyimba more or less fall flat like a pack of cards. Good thing they were still able to more or less have a respectable finish in the MPFL. But let's see if they'll pick up a continental slot that's going into next season, because for the first time in a while, Eyimba didn't qualify for the CAF Champions League or even the CAF Confederations Cup, and it is unlike them. Maybe it is now that rebuilding. This will be like a retreat period for them, and they wish that to more or less retrace their steps.
All right, yes, sir. We're hoping that this is going to be a retreat period for Eyimba to see how they can pick up the continental ticket come next season. Remember, the coach is talking tough, and he's hoping that this season can be a new process, a new structure for them going forward. Moving away from that, let's look at the 2025-2026 MPFL pre-season results. Right there, we have Plateau United against Kano Pillars. The game ended 2-1. We have Kun Khalifat against Eyimba. The game ended 3-1. This pre-season, but Kun Khalifat, the newly promoted side, are already getting in. They're getting familiar, with teams that who have been in the APF for a long while. Also, Nasarawa United against Wiki Tourist, the game ended 3-2, and we have Nasarawa United also, against S114 FC. They played out 5-0 in that one. Those are the pre-season results that you can see on your screen right there. So our teams are preparing for the season. Just a few weeks from now, we'll have the MPFL season season kickoff in grand style. Yes, moving away from that, let's take stories coming through from ITTF, where we have Nigeria win gold medal in under 15 and under 19 boys category at the 2025 ITTF African Youth Championship. The under 19 table tennis team have qualified for the 2025 World Youth Championship right there. So it's a big one for us to see how, yes, this young lad in the world of tennis are doing their trade right there. Moving away from that, let's take stories surrounding the world of basketball this morning. And it looks like good news. It looks like good news, actually. NBA star Josh Okogie has officially linked up with the Tigers camp as preparation wraps up for the upcoming men's Afro Basket Championship in Angola. The Houston Rocket guard returns to national duty for the first time since the FIBA World Cup African qualifiers in 2023, where he was nothing short of electric average right there, 16.60, 7.7, 3.3, and 18.0 from Minnesota to Phoenix, and a brief stint in Charlotte. Right now is flying his trade right there in Houston Rockets. Josh brings electric experience and NBA level intensity back to the Nigeria squad. Toby, what do you think about this move that we have Josh Okogie for the AfroBasket coming up in August?
Well, yes, for Nigeria's D Tigers, the main senior basketball team, I would say, I don't know if I can say they have been challenged by their female counterpart, that's the D Tigers, after winning a 5th straight AfroBasket Women's Championship, 7th in total. That was from last weekend. And for all of our, shall I say, bravery, for all of the razzmatazz that we have with men's basketball, the D Tigers, we only have one AfroBasket championship. So going into the championship in Angola, they'll be hoping to more or less replicate what the D Tigers did, maybe also pocket $100,000 for themselves. But later today, they'll be playing shall I call it a pre-tournament friendly game against Guinea-Bissau today and tomorrow, just to tune them up right there at the Mo Arena in Abuja, Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory. So definitely a whole lot of tune-up games. I don't know if they are high profile. Maybe that is what they need at the moment. But sometimes, Nigeria, the way we do our things right here, we might not have the best of preparation, but at the end of it, we will still deliver. And I hope the D Tigers will deliver because we just need it.
Okay, Samson, do you think the fire brigade approach in our sports, activities is the best approach for us? Because right now, like Toby said, these players they don't even know. I can understand that they know themselves maybe by names, friendship, and things like that. But they're just coming to the competition. We don't have so much friendly games, to prepare these teams ahead. But you still see us going ahead to win competitions. You talk about the Super Falcons. You talk about the Tigers right now. The Tigers also are preparing for Angola.
There is no place in the world where fire brigade approach actually works. It's more or less like a recipe for failure. But the African spirit, the Nigerian spirit in our players sometimes makes them deliver. But we cannot rest on that because that's more or less like a potential disaster. Because if you continue with this approach, it means that in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, there will be nothing to show for it, even despite all this money is being spent. Do not forget that regardless of if they prepare or not prepare, they are still going to spend the same amount of money going into the competition. So why not prepare for the competition and then spend the money and then let's see the results? But the challenge has been the fact that, when it comes to, it's not just about, what we currently see. I think the players I've seen situations where the players are always ready to give their all for the team. But you cannot blame a player who has been match rusty, has not played for some time, and then the competition is almost you just pack all of them together in the same bus and say, okay, look, let's go and to the competition. I mean, it's a challenge. Even the players are embarrassed sometimes when these things happen. But the truth of the matter is, at the managerial level, there are things that has to change.
Yeah, if
things
we have
that
a
have
growing,
to change.
if we have a growing league right here for the women's side and the men's side in basketball, I think we should not be having these problems.
You see, I'm still shocked by the fact that we don't really have a functional basketball league, and yet the AfroBasket came up.
Yeah.
But then, why can't we just emulate other? I mentioned it as regards branding when we talk about local football the other time.
Yeah.
Are you saying we don't have companies that are willing to invest 10, 15, 20 million in this sport?
Yeah.
No, it's because someone is not making the effort. And if you are the business, business development manager for, let's say, AfroBasket, for example, and you are not doing your job, you should go home. Let someone else that has the idea come and run. So when it comes to managerial level, there are a lot of things that must change. And one of that is the fact that when competitions are coming, it's not like CAF just announced the date. I mean, it's just not like, the AfroBasket was just announced. So it means that a lot has been put in place even before now. You knew, we're going for this competition in the next 2 months. So why not start preparation? Preparation is not just about, players going into camp and then being there for 2 months. No, there are so many steps that has to be taken. Where is the hotel they are taking? What is the transportation mode? And what are we giving them? What budget do we have for them as match bonuses? These things should be sorted. And then you realize a certain country like Nigeria that everything is just done in maybe 2-3 days. People are making hasty decisions about things that will affect the country in the long run. But then if you can just sum it up, let's come to the managerial level. Leave the players aside. If we get it right at that level, then that success will be transferred to the players going to the competition, because there should be a morale booster. Once their morale is high, they are motivated to go into the competition and then bring the trophy.
All right. Yes, sir. That's the update, coming through from the world of basketball. We're just trying to make sure that these words, are being delivered to the right quarters so that we can have the structure, put in place for every sport in Nigeria. Moving away from that, let's take the story coming through from Chan. Let's have the result for yesterday's game. It was entertaining, mouth-watering goals, 4-2, and also, at the host nation, also Tanzania, having to play out a one-goal lead. That's the result right there. Burkina Faso against Central Africa. The game ended 4-2, and also Mauritania lost to Tanzania 1-0. Also today, we have matches still coming up today. Right there in Chan. We have DR Congo against Zambia. We have Angola against Kenya. But before we go, we have a story from Chan actually, where we have Ozue Mena and Taiwo Dapfu for Eagles against Sudan. Ani Ozue Mena and Abdurrafiu, yes, Taiwo Dapfu for Nigeria's next game against Sudan at the 2024 African Nation Championship. Yes, Ozue Mena, a goalkeeper, missed their own base. Eagles 1-goal defeat to Senegal due to knee problem. And also left back Taiwo, who started the Group D encounter, picked up a knock in the second half. And also, and let me inform you that the coach of the Sudan side, Kwesi Appiah, has been talking tough against the game against Nigeria. Toby, over to you quickly within 2 minutes. What do you think about this injury scare? And also Kwesi Appiah, speaking about the game against Nigeria. Remember, a must-win game for the Chan Eagles.
Yes, well, first things first, the game against Sudan it's almost a must-win, but worst-case scenario, the Nigerian guys the Super Eagles, as the case might be, must at least get a draw ahead of their last must-win game. So for me, that is just how I see it. And for Ozue Mena, the goalkeeper, potentially missing the second game, yes, so it's sad that he has to, but at least I still trust Mustafa Lawal, who started from in goal. That was in the first game, to still do a good job in between the sticks. The goal he conceded against a couple that Senegal was no fault of his. It was, let's say, miscommunication from the back line. And if not, maybe it could have been a clean sheet from that first game against Senegal. But by and large, the players, they have been having their recovery session since yesterday. Next week, Tuesday, is still enough time, for them to more or less cross the T's and dot their I's. And I hope they will definitely get that victory against Sudan. But you know, Kwesi Appiah is a Ghanaian, and
Yes, he's
any
a Ghanaian,
Nigeria
so
versus
I'm
Ghana
sure.
clash, it always has its own input. So you can
Yeah,
expect why he's saying,
yeah,
why he's speaking like that.
yeah. All right. Thank you, Toby. Before we go, the word of transfer, Wilfred Ndidi to Besiktas is here we go. Done and dusted already. Wilfred Ndidi. It looks like we have Nigerians already, playing the trade in Turkey. And do you think Wilfred Ndidi can go and enjoy football? 9 years with Leicester City, now with a new club.
Well, I think one said it on this show that he stayed too long with Leicester City. There were times where he had offers with the biggest teams in the EPL, but probably the agent did not get it right. Probably Wilfred Ndidi himself said, "Oh, look, I'm not going to this football club." Or probably there are a lot of transfer bureaucracy that happened to him. But then he stayed too long, 9 years. Well, it's one thing to be loyal to a football team, but most times loyalty works as a top player. It works only when you are playing for the top teams.
Okay.
So, because when you play for smaller teams, your loyalty will be tested when bigger teams do come. But whatever happens to him that made him stay at Leicester City, well, I think it's a topic for another day. But the truth of the matter is it's high time he got something more or less like a change, breath of fresh air. And Turkey is the right place for him to do it, because I don't see EPL teams going for Wilfred Ndidi at that age. Probably if there was a team that actually requested for his services, it might be a year contract at most two, because they know that he's at that stage of his career where he's already winding down. There is a time you ascend, there is a time you descend, and I think Wilfred is already descending. Going to Turkey for me is one place where he will still enjoy his game, can play as a centre back or can play defensively and a little bit forward sometimes when necessary. I think he's a quality player, and Turkey is just the right place for him to do.
All right, yes, he's going to be joining the former Manchester United board, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, right there in Turkey. Also, Toby, I used to there before we go, just 1 minute, please. Chelsea, doing the business right there in the world of transfer. Just be all to Everton, Joao Felix also, Maguire to Sunderland. Chelsea are doing the business. Within 1 minute, Toby, what do you think about Chelsea's situation in the transfer window and the season to come? Quickly, 1 minute.
I think they are just trying to balance their books, financial fair play, so that it will not come back to haunt them after bringing in a whole lot of players. They have to also have exit so that the books will be balanced. So I think Chelsea doing the business off the field of play.
All right, thank you so much, Toby. That's all we can take for today. Please, I just want to urge you to please make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms. Make sure you like, turn on the notification bell. Tell a friend to tell a friend to inform them about Dominion Television, your channel of choice. This is where we give you premium entertainment, all things new, right here on the show. Samson, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, it's good to be here to talk sports.
Thank you. Toby, also, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Thank you, and I'm sure you'll be doing this every day with us right here on Dominion Television. That's all we can take for today. To the media crew, we say a big thank you, my producer. Thank you so much. We're going to see you again tomorrow. Stay connected. Don't change that dial.